He walked into a blind date with only $5 in his wallet, humiliated when the man he trusted turned it into a cruel spectacle. But as diners laughed and the manager pushed him out, someone stood up, his billionaire employer. What happened next left the entire restaurant speechless and changed his life forever. Alex Matthews smoothed the collar of his royal blue button-down as he sat alone at a corner table in Le Bernardin. The soft lighting of the Manhattan restaurant cast shadows across the white tablecloth where two empty wine glasses waited, one for him, one for the date who promised to arrive soon. Every glance at those empty glasses intensified the feeling of being a misfit among New York's elite. His slender fingers tapped his iPhone screen, searching for messages that weren't there. Tyler had promised punctuality, promised to handle everything. Yet here sat Alex with just $5 in his wallet and anxiety knotting his stomach. That afternoon, while pressing one of Christopher Ryan's Tom Ford suits, he discovered an envelope containing $3,000 cash. Despite struggling to make rent in his gentrifying Brooklyn neighborhood, Alex had placed the money silently on his employer's desk. Hours later, the house manager slashed his overtime hours without explanation. Across the restaurant, Christopher Ryan adjusted his matching royal blue suit as he prepared for an investor meeting. The tech billionaire froze mid-motion when he spotted a familiar figure. Alex, his house assistant of 2 years, sat alone, shrinking into himself with each passing minute. Christopher recalled reviewing Alex's impressive resume, business degree from Ohio State, Dean's List, perfect recommendations. Yet the young man who meticulously maintained his Upper East Side penthouse had twice been rejected from NYU's MBA program due to financial constraints. "Sir, may I take a card to hold the table?" The server's polite but firm voice pulled Alex from his thoughts. "My date will be here any moment," Alex replied, voice barely steady. "He said he's covering everything." As the server departed with a skeptical smile, Christopher observed Alex's discomfort. The billionaire knew what it meant to be out of place. His own conservative Connecticut family had disowned him after he came out. The memory of those early days struggling alone in New York, fighting for respect, stirred something protective in him. Yet professional boundaries existed for a reason. Christopher turned away, forcing himself to focus on the pending business deal. What neither man realized was that Tyler Bradshaw, approaching the restaurant entrance, had entirely different plans for the evening. The popular YouTuber adjusted his phone camera one final time, smirking as he rehearsed his opening line. His social exposure channel thrived on public humiliation. Tonight's planned viral video, Gold Digger Exposed Gay Edition, would surely break his previous record. This tale of dignity, respect, and second chances is just beginning. What would you do if you witnessed someone being humiliated in public? Comment below and subscribe to Heart Stories for more powerful moments that remind us of our shared humanity. Tyler Bradshaw strode into Le Bernardin with the practiced confidence of someone accustomed to performing for an audience. His Armani jacket hung unbuttoned, blonde hair perfectly styled, smartphone discreetly recording in his breast pocket. He slid into the chair across from Alex without an apology for his 20-minute tardiness. "Hope you weren't waiting long," Chinor remarked, eyes already scanning the menu prices with theatrical widening. "Just a few minutes," Alex lied, relief washing over his features. Tyler whistled at the menu. "Prices here are insane. You picked this place." Alex's forehead creased with confusion. "You suggested it in your messages." Right. Tyler waved dismissively, signaling a server. "Sparkling water for me. Let's look around first." Christopher watched this exchange from his table, increasingly uncomfortable with the dynamic unfolding. His investor droned on about projected returns, while Christopher's attention remained fixed on his employee's deteriorating evening. The tech mogul recognized Tyler now, the controversial YouTube personality whose pranks had twice been discussed at his company's ethics committee. A sense of foreboding settled over him. The server approached Alex's table again. "Gentlemen, we'll need a card before service begins. House policy." Tyler leaned back, smirk playing at his lips. "Ladies first." Heat rushed to Alex's face. His trembling hands reached for his wallet, extracting the crumpled $5 bill, his subway fare home. This is all I have. Tyler's laugh erupted too loudly, designed to attract attention. $5. That's what you brought to a place like this? Alex's throat constricted as nearby diners turned toward the commotion. Tyler continued mercilessly, voice rising. You want a housekeeper's salary, and you drag me here. What were you thinking? Christopher's investor paused mid-sentence. Noticing his distraction, the billionaire's jaw tightened as Tyler's cruel performance escalated. Don't tell me you clean toilets, Tyler mocked, phone surreptitiously recording Alex's humiliation. Oh, wait, maybe you do. A housekeeper, right? That explains it. His limp-wristed gesture left no ambiguity about the additional layer of prejudice behind his words. The floor manager approached, tone clipped. Gentlemen, without a valid card, we'll need to release the table. Policy. Alex rose shakily, dignity in tatters. Then I'll go. I don't want to cause trouble. His breath came in short bursts as he prepared to flee. Christopher faced his defining moment. The rational choice was maintaining professional boundaries. Intervention risked his business relationship and the clear employer-employee line. Yet as Alex stood humiliated, Christopher saw himself 20 years earlier alone, vulnerable, desperate for someone to acknowledge his humanity. The billionaire made his decision. His chair scraped against the hardwood floor as he stood. The abrupt movement silenced conversations throughout the restaurant. Every eye turned toward the commanding figure in the royal blue Tom Ford suit. Christopher's reputation meant his mere presence demanded attention. His voice, when it came, carried effortless authority. That won't be necessary. The restaurant atmosphere crystallized into perfect stillness. Christopher Ryan's words hung in the air with unmistakable gravity. Alex remained frozen, mortification intensifying as he recognized his employer witnessing his lowest moment. Sir, Alex began, voice breaking, but Christopher's steady gaze silenced him. Tyler recovered quickly, adapting his performance for the unexpected audience. Oh, so you know him. That explains everything. He works for you. You're really going to save your houseboy in front of everyone. Christopher approached their table with measured steps, each movement deliberate and controlled. Phones emerged from pockets around the restaurant, anticipating drama worth recording. He's not just a housekeeper, Christopher stated, voice calm but unyielding. He's Alex Matthews, and tonight he is my guest. The manager shifted anxiously. Sir, our policy requires. Christopher silently extended his Black American Express Centurion card. Place whatever hold necessary, then apologize to him. He deserves that much. The manager swallowed visibly before turning to Alex. Sir, I apologize for my approach. It was inappropriate. Alex lowered his gaze. It's fine. No, Christopher corrected sharply. It's not fine. You don't apologize for being humiliated. They apologize for humiliating you. Whispers rippled through the dining room. Tyler maintained his smug expression, though it faltered slightly at the edges. Wow, you're really grandstanding over this. He came with $5 and you're pretending he belongs here. Christopher's expression hardened. You want to discuss money? Let's discuss integrity instead. He leaned forward slightly. This afternoon, Alex found $3,000 cash in my jacket pocket. No record, no witnesses. He could have taken it without anyone knowing. Christopher paused, allowing the implications to settle. Instead, he placed it silently on my desk without mentioning it. That's character worth more than every cheap insult you've delivered tonight. Yet you reduced him to a $5 bill. Alex covered his mouth as tears escaped despite his efforts to contain them. Tyler's composure cracked momentarily before he recovered. Come on, he's obviously manipulating you. Christopher's gaze dropped to Tyler's phone, its recording light blinking steadily. Delete the recording. The restaurant collectively held its breath as all eyes shifted toward the device. Tyler stammered. I don't. Delete it now, Christopher commanded, nodding toward the security personnel materializing nearby. Under their watchful eyes, Tyler cursed while fumbling with his phone, finally shutting off the recording. He shoved the device into his pocket and stood abruptly, chairs screeching across polished floors. "Enjoy your charity project," he spat before storming out. A distinguished silver-haired woman at a nearby table slowly began to applaud. Others joined until appreciative applause filled the restaurant. She approached Christopher, introducing herself as Eleanor Whitman, CEO of a major foundation. "I was considering investing in your education initiative," she remarked. "After witnessing this, I'm convinced. Let's schedule a meeting." As Eleanor departed, a young woman approached hesitantly. "I recorded what happened," she admitted, showing her phone. "I won't post it without permission, but thought you should know there's evidence if you need it." Christopher nodded gratefully before turning back to Alex, who remained stunned by the dramatic reversal of his circumstances. "Sit," Christopher instructed gently. His commanding presence softened now that the confrontation had ended. Alex trembled visibly. "Everyone's still watching." "Let them," Christopher replied. "They're no longer witnessing shame. They're observing respect." Alex slowly lowered himself back into his chair as the waiter approached tentatively. Christopher ordered, without consulting the menu, grilled sea bass for Alex, his own meal forgotten. When the elegant plate arrived, Alex stared at it, overwhelmed by the evening's emotional whiplash. "You didn't have to intervene," he whispered, fingers tracing the edge of his napkin. Christopher met his gaze steadily. "Yes, I did. You demonstrated integrity when nobody was watching. Tonight, though, I demonstrated respect when everyone was." Their conversation flowed surprisingly naturally as the professional barrier between them temporarily dissolved. Christopher described growing up in Connecticut's old money society, where appearances mattered more than authenticity. His family's rejection after his coming out had forced him to build his tech empire without connections or safety net. "The hardest part wasn't starting with nothing," Christopher confided. "It was having no one believe in my potential." Alex nodded, understanding perfectly. He shared his journey from small-town Ohio, where being openly gay had cost him his parents' support. His business degree had been earned through scholarships and exhausting night shifts. New York had represented opportunity, yet 2 years of applications had yielded only service positions. The MBA rejection from NYU hurt most, Alex admitted. "I had the grades, the recommendations, but without financial backing, elite education remains inaccessible." Christopher listened intently. Recognizing himself in Alex's struggle, both had faced discrimination. Both valued integrity. Both understood the crushing weight of potential thwarted by circumstance. The evening concluded with Christopher insisting on sending Alex home in his private car service. "Tomorrow morning, my office," Christopher said as they parted. 9 sharp. Alex spent a restless night in his cramped Brooklyn apartment, shared with 2 roommates to afford the escalating rent. The neighboring building had recently been converted to luxury condos, another sign of the neighborhood's transformation, pushing out long-term residents. Alex rehearsed his resignation speech repeatedly, assuming Christopher would want professional boundaries restored. Meanwhile, across the river, Christopher sat in his penthouse overlooking Central Park, researching NYU's MBA program requirements. His phone buzzed with notifications the restaurant incident had gone viral despite the young woman's promise. Most comments praised his intervention. Though some accused him of publicity stunts, Christopher ignored them all, focused instead on formulating a plan that wouldn't wound Alex's pride while still opening doors previously sealed shut. Both men understood that sometimes dignity matters more than money, that integrity often goes unrecognized but remains invaluable, and sometimes recognizing another's worth becomes the catalyst for transformation neither could have anticipated. The Ryan Enterprises tower gleamed in the morning sunlight as Alex entered the lobby, anxiety evident in his too straight posture. The receptionist directed him to the executive floor, a rare summons that intensified his certainty about impending termination. Jessica Wilson, the HR director, greeted him with an unreadable expression as they entered Christopher's corner office. Christopher stood by the floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Manhattan, turning as they entered. "Alex, thank you for coming." His tone revealed nothing of last night's personal connection. Jessica arranged papers nervously as Christopher addressed her directly. Alex's overtime hours were cut without authorization. Restore them immediately with appropriate back pay. She hesitated visibly. Sir, that's somewhat irregular. And enroll him in NYU's MBA program. Christopher continued. Full tuition, effective immediately. Create a new position in the Ryan Foundation for him part-time to accommodate his studies. Jessica's mouth opened in surprise. That's Christopher's expression brooked no argument. Exactly what someone of his caliber deserves. Handle the arrangements. Jessica nodded quickly, gathering her materials before exiting. Alex remained frozen, processing the unexpected development. Why would you do this? He finally managed. Christopher approached him, professional demeanor softening. Because integrity like yours shouldn't be cleaning penthouses. It should be running organizations. This isn't charity, it's investment in proven character. Alex's pride warred with opportunity. I can't accept such generosity. This isn't about generosity, Christopher clarified. It's about justice, about recognizing where society overlooked. Consider it rectification rather than charity. 6 months later, Alex stood on the Ryan Foundation's community center rooftop in Brooklyn. The spring evening cast golden light across his face as he reviewed progress reports. His MBA studies excelled beyond expectations. His foundation program, helping LGBTQ+ youth transition to city life, showed promising results. And his new apartment, still in Brooklyn, but without roommates, represented independence earned through opportunity rather than handouts. The roof door opened as Christopher joined him. Your second chances program statistics are impressive. The board unanimously approved expanded funding. Alex smiled, genuine pride replacing his former uncertainty. Thank you for believing in me. You've more than justified that belief, Christopher acknowledged, gesturing toward the community center below, where a young barista who'd been disowned by his family was now participating in the mentorship program. Alex had personally helped secure his scholarship and part-time foundation position. He reminds me of myself, Alex admitted. Determined but drowning without support. Christopher nodded appreciatively. The circle completes. You've paid it forward precisely as hoped. They stood silently watching Manhattan's skyline illuminate. An evening deepened. One act of integrity had created ripples affecting dozens of lives already, with hundreds more to follow as mentees became mentors themselves. In a city obsessed with money, Christopher mused, recognizing human worth becomes revolutionary. What would you do if you witnessed someone being humiliated? Would you step forward or remain silent? Sometimes the most profound change begins with a single act of dignity. Share your thoughts in the comments below. And subscribe to Heart Stories for more powerful reminders that integrity matters when nobody's watching, and courage matters when everyone is.